Okay, if I can get you to pause the lesson so that they can do the bell assignment, and then whenever they are done with the bell assignment, you can go from there. Please go over their answers with them. What we're talking about today is Lesson 70, Solving Direct Variation Problems. Recall that quantities which vary directly are proportional. Okay, we talked about that the other day. If they vary directly, they are proportional. We had a nice equation for that. For direct variation, we said y equals kx. We also said we could solve for k, and whenever we did that, we divided by x on both sides, which got us k equals y over x. Okay, so both of those are equations that we can use. The table below shows the total price of CDs varies directly with the number of CDs a customer purchases. The way that we can figure this out is by finding the constant ratio. Okay, that means that we multiply by the same thing each time. Each CD costs the same amount. Okay? So if they bought one CD and it cost $15, two CDs and it was $30, three CDs and it was $45, we're multiplying by 15 on each of those. We can see that without doing much work. Okay, if you have one and you don't know how to find it, that's where your y equals, or not your y equals, your k equals y over x equation comes in, because I could take, remember that my x, my independent variable, is always in my first column. My y, my independent variable, is always in my second column. So if I take my y over x, 15 divided by 1 is 15, y over x, 30 divided by 2 is 15. We could do that all the way down. It's going to be 15 each time, which gives me my constant ratio of 15. Okay, and that's all that they've shown you down here. It says one quantity, which is the price, is determined by multiplying the other variable, which is the number of CDs, by the constant. So we know that the price equals 15 times a number. Okay, so this is our y equals kx, where k is 15, x is the number of CDs, and y is the price. So, if each CD was $15, it wants to know how much would it cost for 6 CDs. The way that we would find that is the number of CDs goes in for y. So I have y equals 15, and instead of the number of CDs, I have 6. So 15 times 6 is going to give us 90. So we have y equals $90. When you know two quantities vary directly, knowing just one set of paired numbers allows us to solve for the missing numbers in other pairs. So, for example, it says the amount Ellen charges for banquet food varies directly as the number of people that attend. If Ellen charges $780 for 60 people, how much does she charge for 100 people? And the way that we can do this is we know that they vary directly, which means that they are proportional. So because they are proportional, are you awake over there, sir? Because they are proportional, we can set up a proportion. So I know that she charges $780 for 60 people. Okay, that has to be equal to the amount she charges, which is what we're looking for, x, over 100 people. Notice that we have dollars with dollars and people with people. Okay, we can't mix those up. If we mix them up, then we won't get the right answer. So our proportion is that 780 over 60 equals x over 100. And to solve a proportion, I hope that remember we do the cross product. Okay, so cross product means that I'm taking 780 times 100 equals 60 times x. 780 times 100 is going to be 78,000 equals 60 times x. Okay, to get x by itself, I need to divide by 60 on both sides. So I'll have a 0 cancel there. And I don't know this number off the top of my head. Will somebody plug this in your calculator? What is it? 13,000? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Yeah, it should be 1,300. Okay, so for those of you watching, I'm recording this with a class in the room, so we just made a mistake. double check your work. So we know that $1,300 equals that X. Okay? With me on that. Alright. Driving at a constant speed, the distance Maggie travels varies directly to the amount of time she drives. So once again, if it varies directly, that means that it is proportional, because direct variation is proportional. If Maggie drives 75 miles in 1.5 hours, so I know that she drives 75 miles in 1.5 hours, but a better way to write this would be as a decimal. So we're going to say she drives 75 miles in 1.5 hours. That's going to be equal to, and it says how long does it take her to drive 100 miles? If miles is on top here, it has to be on top over here. So we put 100 miles here, and we're looking for the time that it takes her, t. You can put whatever variable you want to. Okay. To solve this, once again, it is a proportion, so we're going to take the cross product. So we have 1.5 times 100 equals 75 times t. So 1.5 times 100 is going to give me 150 equals 75t. To get t by itself, I'm going to divide 75 on both sides. So those will cancel. I have t equals 2, and it's hours. Okay? Are those of you in the audience paying attention? Everybody understand where I got that from? Okay. There were 23 people in line in front of D waiting to be helped. 3 minutes later, there were 18 people waiting in front of D. Predict how much longer D will wait to be helped. So the reason that they say predict here is we don't know that every person is going to take the same amount of time. We don't even know what she's in line for. Maybe it's at the grocery store, maybe it's at the bank, whatever it is. There are 23 people in line in front of her, and we're supposed to predict based on what they've given us how much longer she's going to have to wait before it's her turn. So, in the beginning there were 23 people in line in front of D, and then it says that 3 minutes later there were 18 people in front of her. So, if there were 23 to begin with and there are only 18 people now, how many people were helped in those 3 minutes? What are we going to do to figure that out? We're going to take 23 minus 18, and that'll give us 5 people. Whoops. Okay, so 5 people were helped in 3 minutes. We want to know how many minutes it's going to take for 18 people to be helped. Does everybody understand where I got this from? Yeah? Girls, you shouldn't be talking still. You should still be paying attention. Thank you. Alright, so once again we have a proportion. To solve a proportion we do the cross product. So I have 5 times t equals 3 times 18. 5 times t gives me 5t. 3 times 18 gives me 54. To get t by itself, we need to divide by 5, and what we do to one side, we must do to the other. 5's will cancel. I'm left with t equals 10.8 minutes. So if I were going to predict how long it was going to take, I would say the time would approximately be 11 minutes. Okay? That's all I have for you today. If you have questions, please ask for the video to be rewound. Whatever you need, ask for it to be paused, whatever, yada yada. Your homework is Lesson 70, A through C, 1 through 19. All. Make sure that this assignment gets written on the assignment board so that you know what you're supposed to be doing.